Likutei Moharan. We're starting today, Mitzvah Hashem, the Torah that we actually just visited, the last halacha, Likutei halachas, Hilchos Nesius Kapayim, halacha Daled, which is Torah Chaf Beis and Likutei Moharan. Where now, with Hashem, we will go through the Torah itself. We went through Kitzur Likutei Moharan. We learned about Chosam HaYodin, Chosam HaRaglin, and all that. But now, with Hashem, we will start learning the Torah itself, Likutei Moharan. Rabbeinu starts Pirkei Chamishah, the Sifra Tzniuso, the fifth parak of this article, this essay, B'Teres HaNister, which is in Sefer HaZohar, Pashas Truma. And Rebbe, first of all, started the Torah with saying like this: Bereshis Bo. In the beginning, Hashem created. Bereshis Bo. What's alluded to is as follows: Bereshis is Mama. Because Baruch Hu created the world with 10 sayings. So, but we find only in Vayom Elokim Yeyo, and Hashem said, and there be light, and Hashem said, the tree should grow, this Hashem said, and Hashem said no. The thing is that we have, the world was created with 10 sayings. But Lemaisa, when you count the times that Hashem said, and Hashem said, and Hashem said, and Hashem said, you follow only 9, you don't find 10. Because where's the 10th? The 10th is, so the Chazal said that Bereshis, even though it does not say explicitly that it was affected through a saying, nevertheless, Bereshis is also a Mama. It's called a Mama Sosa. It's called a concealed Mama, because it doesn't say, and Hashem said, let there be a beginning. It just says Bereshis. It doesn't say, and Hashem said. So it's called a concealed Mama. There's very many secrets about this particular Mama. There is the Yud-Beis, Chelek-Beis, about the reason why the first Mama was said without the preamble of, and Hashem said, let there be a beginning. But it says in the beginning, already Bereshis. That's it. Bereshis, Mama. The Bereshis is a Mama. It is a saying. And it alludes to the first persona, the spiritual structure of Abba, which is a bechina of the Chochmah, the Reishis Chochmah. If you recall, we said in Olam Atzilus there are 5 personas. There's Arich Anpin, which is the Kesed. There's Abba, which is the Chochmah. There's Ima, which is the Bina. The Ezer Anpin, which is the 6th Sefirot between Chesed to Yesod. And you have the Nukva, which is the female, which is the Malchus. So Bereshis is Mama. Bora, the word Bora, is Chatzi Mama. If you take the word Bereshis, it has 6 letters. Bara is the first 3 letters of Bereshis. Right? You have Beis Reish Aleph, which is Bara, and then you have Shin Yud Taf, Bereshis. So Bereshis is a Mama, so Bara is half of that, is half a Mama. The meaning for it, it alludes to the persona of Zeir Anpin. Zeir Anpin, this is the son. We said that Chochmah and Bina is the father and mother, so Zeir Anpin and Malchus is the son and the daughter. So this is the son. The Zeir Anpin is a son to a father. And it comes from him and it gets the light from him. It's like a son who learns from his father. This is okay. Beis says, Breshis Ma'amar, Baruch Chotzi Ma'amar, Avu Ven. A father and a son. And it continues. Sosim, concealed. This is Abba. This is Chochmah. It's concealed. Vegalia, and exposed and overt. That's Zeir Anpin. They're both, and he says that they're both actually called Eden. They also have the nickname Eden. It says Eden Iloah, the Sosim Vegonis. You have the supernal Eden, which is ineffable and closed off. That's the Abba. That's the secret of Eden Elyon, which is ineffable. Nobody can attain it. And the just as Mama Muska, the Yesod of the Abba is constantly in the Yesod of Ima, because the Yichud of Chochmah and Bina is constant. It never. Eden Tatoy. Now we're talking about the lower Eden. Now we're talking about Zeir Anpin. That's the sort of the lower Eden that goes to its travels to get together with the Malchus. Afterwards, we will find out that their Yichud is not constant. Sometimes there's a Yichud, sometimes there's no Yichud. And at the end, in the continuation of the Mamar, Rabbeinu will explain the Zohar according to his derech, according to the derech of the Mamar. Siman Aleph, Da, you should know. It is said, whenever it says Da, this is a telegram from Olam Atzilus. The Gemara says, Tashma, come in here. The Zohar says, Tachazi, come and see. Likutei Moharan says, Da, you should know. The level of Das. This is Da shesh choisam. You should know that there is a seal. Yesh choisam b'soch choisam. And there is a seal within a seal. Choisam, what is choisam? The definition of choisam, he says as follows. Ki yesh monchich yado. There are those, the admonishers of the generation. V'hem chinas raglim. V'nikrayin raglim. They represent the legs, as it were, and they're called the legs. Why? Al Shem Shem Limudei Hashem. That they are Limudei Hashem. What's the pshat? Ein Shalomdim Kivyochel Hashem. They teach Hashem. They are Kivyochel Hashem's teachers, Hashem's advisors. What's the pshat? Shenosnim Lo Eitzes. That they gave advice. Hashem consults them. And they, go, he sends them, to B'shlichus. They go to Am Yisrael. Their job is to go and to admonish the Yidden and make them aware of when they're not behaving properly. And get them back to Kodesh Baruch Hu. ועל שם זה נקראים בחינס רגלין. That's why they are called רגלין, they're called the legs. And legs is called Hashem Ha'etzo because of the advice that they give at Kodesh Baruch Hu. Why does being the one who gives the advice or the one who follows the advice, they are called רגליים, they are called legs? So, כמו שפרש Rashi explains on the pasuk, al v'chol ha'am asher bereglecha, and all the nation who are at your feet. What is the pshat at your feet? And it says in Sefer Shmos, ha'oichem ha'atzoscha, those that follow your advice. Those at your feet means those who follow your advice. So you see that the eitz is a regel. It's a leg. It's a foot. And an additional reason to why they're called raglin, ve'al shem ha'alicha she'olchim b'shlichusoi of HaKadosh Baruch Hu le'ochiach kanal. First of all, they're called raglin because they are the advisors of HaKadosh Baruch Hu kaviyachol. And secondly, they're called legs, like messengers, because they are the Hashem's messengers to bring Am Yisrael closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. וכשהשם יזברך גויזר גזר דין באוילום, when HaKadosh Baruch Hu, chas v'chalila, makes a decree, a not good decree in the world. V'adin v'atera. And the verdict, is Torah. It's a din Torah. It has to be a din Torah. That has to be that way. Something which was determined through, the dinner of the Torah. That's the set of rules with which HaKadosh Baruch Hu created the world, and He governs the world. So whatever decree comes in, has to be a din Torah. ומחמד שהם לימודי השם, being that they are the ones who give HaKadosh Baruch Hu advice. ומתייעץ עמהם, HaKadosh Baruch Hu consults with them. ומגלה להם הדין תורה שנגזר על הדור. And He reveals to them the גזר דין that was decreed on the generation. If you remember a couple of pashas ago, in Sodom, before the Malachim went to Sodom, Hashem said, would I conceal from Avram what I'm doing? So He spoke with Avram. He said, this is what I'm going to do. So Avram started, he knows the entire give and take. If you find 50 tzaddikim, 45 tzaddikim, 40 tzaddikim, this whole give and take that happened, that is that relationship. The Baruch Hu said, don't conceal with them, they are my love, they are my friends, they are my beloved friends, and I ask for them. Just ask for them. The Baruch Hu מתייעץ, ומגלה להם הדין תורה שנגזר על הדור. והם, and they, מכסים על זה הדין תורה וחוסם מן ישראל. What they do, the first thing that they do, is they cover up this din Torah, and they seal it. B'bchinas, as it is said, Mayan Chosam, a sealed fountain. And that is alluded to the fact that they are sealing the judgment that comes from Mayan Atera. Why? So that those that are, the detractors will not jump on the bandwagon and say, and make it even worse. That wouldn't come out of him, chas v'chalila, a cruel din. In other words, we should be more harsh than was actually decreed on the generation. וזה בחינת, as it is said, chasam Torah b'limudai. Seal of the Torah with my limudai, which means with those who's limudei Hashem, with those tzaddikim. He says, "Ainu bilimudei Hashem echtam din Torah." With limudei Hashem, these tzaddikim, the din Torah is being sealed and concealed. Shelo yimkom mimenu achitzonim, so that the sitra achara and the adversaries will not feed off that din and stoke up the flames. Vehem, and these limudei Hashem, these tzaddikim, when they find out this din Torah which is in Shamayim, what they do is they go and they admonish the generation, the people, in order to make them come back and ameliorate and sweeten the din, and eradicate the decree. Feel b'shas Musa, and even at the time when they admonish Yisrael, nizarim lachti v'lastir, they're still very, very careful to keep sealed and keep concealed exauding. Shaloim komenu achitzonim, so that the adversaries will not feed off. B'vchinas it is said, u'moisorom yachter, even when they allow the people to know they have to make tshuva, they still seal the gzardin. Val shem zeh, that the fact that they seal and they cover the gzardin, hen b'vchinas choisam. These tzaddikim are like, they're considered like the seal. They themselves are the seal. Ve'elu limudei Hashem, and these limudei Hashem, these tzaddikim, ma'abim shalom ba'olam, they propagate peace in the world. Kmo shekosov v'chol banaich limudei Hashem, and all your sons are limudei Hashem, v'ram shalom banaich, and multiple is the peace of your sons. And Chazal Dashim, Tamilei Chachomim, which is limudei Hashem, they propagate peace in the world. V'rav shalom banaich, what is it, Rav shalom banaich? Ki limudei Hashem, these limudei Hashem, hoilchim lefasher v'lasos shalom ben Yisrael l'avim shebashamayim. The main shalom is between Am Yisrael and Kodesh Baruch Hu. Once there's peace between Am Yisrael and Kodesh Baruch Hu, there's peace in the world. When there are problems between Am Yisrael and Kodesh Baruch Hu, this is when there's problems in the world. And it says like this: "V'lefonav Yisborach," and before Kodesh Baruch Hu, maktinim adovo, they minimize, mamitzim tov ba'adam, and they preach good upon the Yidden, in order to bevatel the gzera, in order to cancel the bad decrees before Kodesh Baruch Hu. B'fnei Yisrael, however, before Am Yisrael, magdilim achet ma'oid, before Am Yisrael, they're telling you, you know what you did, you bandit, you don't know what you did, why. To make him do tshuva. Kmo shematzinu etzel Moshe. We found about Moshe Rabbeinu after the Chet HaEgel. So we find she'omer Hashem Yisborach, lama charei apcha. When he talk Kodesh Baruch Hu, what's the big deal? Take it easy. What did they do? L'Yisrael Amer, atem chatasem chato gdoilo. You did an unbelievable sin. Unbelievable sin. Let's see here, just 1 second. No, you're fine. It's just that somehow the center of where it measures the light, the whole thing got washed out a little bit. But when the evil of the generation overpowers the choisam, chas v'chalila. In other words, it breaks the seal, the concealment, it breaks the seal and the concealment of the Gzalin. When it does that, when it spoils it, then the adversaries that Sitra Achra has, they can feed off the Gzalin, and that makes the Gzalin achzori. It makes it a cruel Gzalin. And this spoils the peace in the world. And what happens, the result? And this makes Shem Yirachem, that Am Yisrael have to exile. There's machlokes in the world, there's war in the world, there's terror in the world. Hepech HaShalom, exactly the opposite of peace. Bivchinas u'mitevel yenidu. In other words, the problems of this world would push him like a nida that is being pushed, like all the way Shem Yirachem to the grave. It means in a table in the world, there'll be like a nida v'achoko, that in the world there'll be a chokas and push off, and Am Yisrael will be pushed and pushed and pushed. Ki mechoisom, from the word choisom, from the metzias of choisom, naso nidas. Because choisom and nidas are the same gematria. So mechoisom nasa nidas kemispar shove. Come on, it's the same. In other words, when the choisom gets spoiled, the world becomes, in the world, it comes into a state of nida, kaviyachol, nida v'arachoko, and girushin, and machlokes, and all kinds of afflictions. If you remember, when we learned Torah, we explained that when a person is in a state of domim, of blood, so Mimele, all the afflictions have to do with blood occur to that person. Over there it says that Astoras Pnei Hashem, that Hashem hiding his face is Gematria Dom, because Hashem Ba'choraim is Aleph, Aleph K, Yud, Aleph K, Yud K. That you spell the name Aleph K, Yud K, but each time, with every advancing letter, you go to the beginning of the word again. So Aleph, and then you go Aleph K, and then you Aleph K Yud, then Aleph K Yud K. This is called spelling the name of Hashem Ba'choraim, Shem Eke Ba'choraim. So it's called Achoresh Shem Eke. The behind of Shem Eke Ba'choraim together is Gematria Dam. So when Dam blood. So when a person is in a state when the face of Hashem is hidden from him, which means he's Achor Pnei Eke, he's in a state of blood. Mimele, this occurs to him. It's a very important nekuda to understand that people bring themselves with their behavior to a state of being that Kivyochel brings upon them the consequences. Like, they call it the power of positive thinking, they call it, whatever it is that they call it. But the point is that the way that people behave determines their situation. So when a person is in a state of domim, of blood, it invites domim, which means it comes on him charofes v'bizyonis and shfichas domim, and so the Rebbe Terevov gives you an eitzas. You can take that dam and make it dom, which means that it's the same letter, it's the same dalad mem. Be quiet when you're derided and when you're insulted. Be quiet. With this, you sweeten the dam. You take it and flip it over.
No pushes.
Yeah. So and that's his main. That's the in of tshuva. That's the main tshuva. In other words, The fact that somebody is in a state of dumb doesn't necessarily mean it's supposed to go around, that it's just the bad. You can take it and work with it, and it becomes a positive. The same thing is over here. First of all, when instead of a chosom, it becomes nidas. It becomes a state of blood, a place of being pushed away. And up to now, Mirz Hashem for today, being that this is a complex Torah, we don't want to overburden every day.